Have you ever done a science experiment and wondered what it'd be like if you did it big? I have.
Yeah!
My name is Phil, and I take your everyday science experiments and do them big. This is Science Max, experiments at large. Science Max!
3, 2, 1. We're really under pressure during this episode of Science Max. Compressing a gas till it's pressurized is how we can do this, and this, and to a lesser degree, this.
Help, I'm being crushed by all this pressure.
Pressure, today on Science Max, experiments at large. Phil to mission control. Come in, mission control. This is mission control, Phil. We read you loud and clear. I would... Oh. Greetings, Science! Greetings, Science Maximites! Welcome to Science Max Experiments at Large. My name is Phil McCordick, and today we're gonna be building an air-powered rocket. Too difficult, you say? Nonsense, it's easy. It's not like it's rocket science. Hey, it is rocket science. Cool! Here's what you need. You need a bottle and a cork. Make sure that the cork fits nicely into the bottle, and then you need an air pump, because you can't have an air-powered rocket without air. And on this air pump, you need a pin, the special kind that you use to inflate basketballs or volleyballs or stuff like that. Now, what you want to do is push the pin through the cork. You might want an adult's help for this. Push it through until it goes through on the other side, and then make sure you get a good seal with the bottle. Now you're ready to launch your rocket with air pressure. But first, let's do a few other things. Take your cork and put it in a tripod launcher. You can make this out of pencils or anything you want, as long as it stands up nice and solidly. And then, of course, you want to decorate your bottle so it looks like a rocket. This is my rocket. Pretty good, right? So you stick the bottle on the cork like before, like that. And then you stick the pin in the bottom. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna inflate the bottle with air pressure, and then it's gonna launch. Okay, here we go. You know, rocketry really isn't something you should do indoors. Come on. This was supposed to be a field. What's going... Why are there... Oh, it's in my shoe. Oh, this will do nicely. Now, don't forget to do this with an adult, and don't forget your safety glasses. Now, set up the rocket in a nice big open area, and make sure it's pointed away from you. And then, what you do is you pump the air pump. And it puts air into the rocket, which pushes down on the water, which will push down on the cork, until eventually... So, be Science Maximites and come up with your own rocket design. Try different amounts of water, different fins, even a different size bottle. Try it for yourself and see if you can get one that goes higher than mine just did. How did I get in? I think it was this way. Do you want step-by-step directions on how to build your own air-powered rocket? Well, don't worry. Everything you need is on our website. All right, now it is time to max out our air-powered rocket. I've got Adam here. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Phil.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Adam's from Logix Academy, and you guys go into schools and talk about science.
We do.
Fantastic. Do you guys do a air-powered rocket?
Yes, exactly.
Does it look like this one?
Looks exactly like that.
Oh, that's great. So how do we max this out?
So we want to add more pressure to this bottle to try to get it to launch a little bit higher.
More air.
More air.
Great, so what do we do?
So we're going to use one of these.
Ooh.
It's an air compressor.
Right, which works a lot like the bike pump, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So we're going to have compressed air coming from here through this tube into underneath here.
Yeah.
And out that nozzle there, and you're going to put your bottle on top.
And out the nozzle
like
into
that.
the bottle, like that.
Yep, and now we want to be able to hold it in place. So we're gonna have these little fingers here that are actually gonna work to hold it until we want to let it go. So we're gonna lock it in place.
Oh yeah, look at that. Totally locked.
Exactly.
And then what? How do we launch
Now,
it?
you're gonna take this cord and go a safe distance away, and we are going to pull it.
And then we would pull it. Which one do you want to start with?
I think we should use this one here.
Okay, great. Now we put water in it, right?
Yep, you're gonna put water in there.
Why do we use water?
So the water is gonna act to push the rocket up into the air. The compressed air in here is gonna shoot the water out the back, and the water is gonna push on the rocket and make it launch. It's just to give it a little extra push.
How do I get it on there without spilling any water?
So just rest it next to the
Just go
launcher
fast?
there. Yeah, just go really fast.
Ooh.
There you go.
There we
a
go.
little bit.
Haha. And then
Lock it in place.
locking it in place. There's no
Okay.
air pressure in the hose yet, right?
Not yet, no.
First, we have to spool out the launch cord. So the air compressor has the compressed air in it. It's ready to go.
Yep, it's all ready to go. We just need to connect the hoses.
Adam, I've noticed it's snowing a little bit. Do you think that's any reason why we should stop?
I don't think so.
No, the science must go on. Blast shields down. Connecting hoses.
When we connect the air hose, the pressure from the compressor travels down the line and into the bottle. You can see the bubbles of air going in. Those bubbles are carrying more air into the bottle, giving it more pressure.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, there's the rocket. Let's do it again. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Woo! Nice. Success.
Success.
Nice. So, small bottle worked really well. How do we make it bigger? I know, bigger nose cone?
I think a bigger bottle.
Oh, bigger bottle. Yeah, of course, that's easy. How about this empty water bottle that we have now?
That might work, except that the top here is too big. I don't think it'll fit on our launcher.
Oh, yeah. So what should we use?
A 2-liter pop bottle might work a bit better because it'll be about the same size.
Oh, that's right. 2-liter pop bottles have the same opening as these small water bottles.
Exactly.
That's great. All right, let's make a couple rockets out of 2-liter pop bottles.
Awesome.
Pressure happens when you squeeze something or compress it. Solids do not compress very well. I will demonstrate. Solid? Is it compressing? No, okay. Liquids don't compress very well either. You can demonstrate this for yourself by getting a plastic water bottle and filling it right to the very top with water and putting on the cap and squeezing. You'll find that you can't really squeeze the bottle very much. But if you empty out half of the water, no, don't pour it on the floor, and then put the cap back on the bottle and try to squeeze it, you'll find that you can squeeze it a lot more. That's because gases compress much easier than solids or liquids. Here's what's going on. Say this container is, well, any container, and these magnets are air molecules. Now I'm gonna put the magnets in pole to pole so they repel each other and wanna stay a certain distance apart, just like air molecules do. There we go, a container at normal gas pressure. Now watch what happens when I add more gas molecules. They start to get squeezed together. And if I add more, the amount of space that each one gets is less and less. Now this container is under a lot of pressure. These molecules really want to escape through the top of the container, but they can't because I'm holding them down. If I took something like this plunger and I pushed them down even more, now they're really under pressure. They want to get out, but they can't because I'm holding them in. Now watch what happens when I let them go. They all pop out the top, and the container has returned to normal gas pressure. That's what happens when we put gas in a container like this one. These containers that hold compressed gas are made out of solid steel because you need something really strong or it might explode if you put too much gas pressure in it. That's why these are only filled up by professionals who know exactly how much pressure it can take. That is the power of pressure.
Our air-powered rocket was working pretty well, but there's always room to max it out.
In order to do that, we need to understand how it works. First, we fill the bottle almost halfway with water, and then we add air to the bottle. The air pressure builds up, and the air presses down on the water. The rocket takes off when we pull on the release valve, which was blocking the opening of the bottle. Once that happens, the air pushes out the water. It's the water that gives us our thrust, so the water is very important. Once all the water is gone, the air escapes and the bottle returns to normal air pressure. But by that time, it's high in the sky. Now the plan is to use 2-liter bottles instead of regular water bottles to see if they work better.
Now we've made a few more rockets out of 2-liter bottles, and I'm gonna fill this one up with water, and we're going to fire it again and see what happens. Now, the idea is that these will work better because they have more volume, and more volume means we could possibly put more air pressure in. It's hard to know until you try it, of course. But the other reason why it might work better is 2-liter bottles generally hold carbonated beverages, which means they already have to be made a little stronger than regular water bottles because they have to hold in the carbonation, which is just like air pressure. All right, ready to go. Okay, here we go. You ready, Adam?
Yep.
Okay, blast shield down. Pressurize! 3, 2, 1. Let's do another one. And 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Wow! This is the superhero design rocket, which I'm very excited about. All right, Adam, it's going really well. But before we fire this next one, how can we make it bigger, better, and more awesome?
Get more pressure.
More pressure. How do we do that?
Well, we're firing at about 90 PSI right now.
PSI, pounds per square inch of pressure, right?
Yeah. So we could increase it.
We could increase it. So how, we're at 90 now, how high does the tank go?
Go to about 120.
120 PSI. Let's see what happens.
All right, let's do it.
Here we go. 90, 110, 120. Should we fire it?
Let's fire it.
Let's fire it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right. Hey, actually, it worked okay. There's just a piece missing here, but I think the bottle is still okay.
Yeah.
So, 2-liter bottle, full pressure. I think we can still make something even better, even more maxed out. What if we used an even bigger bottle? You know the 5-liter ones that you see on a water cooler?
Yeah.
You think we can use one of those?
Definitely. I think we could use that. We need to change the mouthpiece size
Oh, right. Yes.
to fit our launchers.
Well, let's do it.
Do it.
Help! I'm being crushed by all this pressure! A whole kilogram is being pushed down on every square centimeter of my body! 103 kilopascals!
Actually, 1 kilogram for every square centimeter on your body is the exact kind of pressure that you and I are under at all times every day. We don't notice it because we're used to it, but it sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Well, it is. Here's an experiment you could do with a plastic bottle. Say at room temperature, there are 10 million air molecules in here. Doesn't really matter how many, but we'll say there's 10 million at normal room temperature. What happens if I heat up the air inside this bottle? This is warm water. What I'm trying to do is heat up the air inside the bottle because the air molecules, when they get hotter, move faster and need more room. So the 10 million air molecules are starting to escape out the mouth of the bottle and reducing the number of air molecules inside. And now I take the bottle out and cap it. Because the air molecules heated up and speeded up, they needed more room. Now there's less of them in the bottle. There's about 4 million air molecules inside this bottle, but they're all hot air molecules and they have a higher pressure, and you don't notice it because the air out here isn't crushing the bottle. But watch what happens if I cool the air inside the bottle. This is ice water.
So what's happening now is the molecules are slowing down and they need less space. So they need less room and they're being crushed by the pressure on the outside of the bottle.
It has been crushed because the colder air molecules don't need the same kind of room as the hot air molecules, the room temperature air has crushed the bottle. The air inside has a lower pressure than the air outside. Pretty amazing. Even more amazing when we max it out.
This is a steel drum. What we've done is we put some water in it and we're heating it up to boiling so there's nothing but hot air inside the drum. This is an airtight cap, which we use to seal the drum. And now we cool the drum off. Hey, Trevor, give me a hand. Ready? 1, 2, 3, you lift! That's good. This pool is filled with ice. What we're doing now is cooling off the steel drum, which will cool off the air inside it. Which means, eventually, the air inside the steel drum will be a much lower pressure than the air outside the steel drum.
Because the steel drum has a lot more volume than a 2-liter pop bottle, it takes a lot longer for the air to cool down. The other thing to think about is that it's a steel drum. I could stand on it and it wouldn't even dent. But sure enough, after a few minutes...
Whoa! Check it out! The barrel has totally crushed. The low pressure air inside the barrel wasn't enough to withstand the force of the regular air pressure that you and I walk through every day. The air pressure all around us is enough to crush a steel drum. How cool is that?
Our air-powered rockets have been working really well, but we still want to go further. Since the 2-liter bottle worked better than the water bottle, we think increasing the size again might make it more awesome. So now the plan is to switch our 2-liter bottle with a 20-liter water cooler jug and make a rocket out of that. Because the launcher nozzle, which holds the bottle in place till we're ready to launch it, isn't going to fit the opening of this bigger jug, we've decided to use the cap that came with the jug. If we screw the cap on, it'll work sort of like the cork. The air pressure will press down on the water and keep pushing against the cap until the cap has a catastrophic failure, which is a very cool way of saying that eventually the cap will break and the bottle will shoot into the sky.
20-liter water cooler jug filled with some water. This is the cap that'll work sort of like the cork. We put the air pressure in there, the cap can't take it anymore, pops off, and the thing flies, hopefully. Let's find out. Okay, that looks good. There. Let's do this. Go for pressure! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Hilarious! That worked pretty well. It sort of does that. I wonder if it's aerodynamic.
No.
No. So, what else can we do to make it even more maxed out?
I think we've used the 2-liter bottles that worked really well.
The 2-liter bottles are the best, right?
I think so.
So, what do we do?
We can probably stack them. If we stack them on top of each other.
Yeah.
That worked.
I like that. So we put a whole bunch of them together.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll do you one better. Why don't we use 3 stacks?
Awesome.
We'll use 3 stacks, 3 launchers, 3 times the thrust, and we'll make a giant rocket out of 2-liter bottle.
Yeah, great idea.
High fives. Here we go. Gas molecules get further apart when you warm them up and closer together when you cool them down. So what happens if you keep cooling them down? Well, they turn into this. This is liquid nitrogen. Nitrogen makes up 78% of the air we breathe, but when you cool it down to minus 196 degrees Celsius, it turns into a liquid. It's boiling right now because at room temperature, nitrogen wants to be a gas. So the liquid nitrogen is turning into gaseous nitrogen, and all of the extra molecules are escaping through the top of the bottle. So what happens if I put a cap on the bottle? Right now, the liquid nitrogen is turning back into a gas, but because there's a cap on the bottle, the gas has nowhere to go. So the pressure is just gonna keep building and building until the plastic bottle can't contain it anymore, and it pops like a balloon. Science!
Our rockets have gone from small to bigger to even bigger. Now the plan is to use 3 2-liter bottles and create columns of them into a giant rocket. We pressurize them just like we did before, but with more thrust, it might work even better. Even if it doesn't work better, I'm pretty excited about this new plan.
Giant rocket! Giant rocket! You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, blast shields down. Connecting hose. Dialing up pressure. Pressure is rising. It's bubbling. Bubbling. 100 psi. Okay, stand by to fire. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Woo! One. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put. Whoa! No, don't get. No, not in the bottle. I feel like it just wants to continue pointing at my face. And then, whoa! And when there's pressure. Whoa! That one didn't work very well at all. Science!
Have you ever done a science experiment and wondered what it'd be like if you did it big? I have. My name is Phil, and I take your everyday science experiments and do them big. This is Science Max, Experiments at Large. Science Max!
Science!
Today's Science Max is all about balance.
Whoa! Okay.
If it's a potato or if it's me, figuring out how things balance is what we're all about.
It works really well!
Swinging, spinning, and staying put. Today on Science Max Experiments at Large.
Greetings, Science Maximites. Today, we're gonna be talking about, balance, or what you call balance in science, which is center of gravity. Now, the center of gravity is a place you can find in any object where it's equally balanced on all sides. I balanced this spoon on the eraser of this pencil, and where the spoon is balancing is its center of gravity. But if I take this little tiny dime and put it in the spoon, it doesn't balance anymore. But if I put the dime in this spoon and balance it in a different spot, I can find the new center of gravity, and the spoon balances again. Here's another experiment you can do. Take a potato and a ruler or a stick. Try to balance the potato on the ruler. I'm gonna save us both a lot of time. It's really hard to do. The potato does have a center of gravity, but because of its shape, it's going to be really hard to find and really hard to balance. But if you take some forks and you stick them into the potato, you're no longer just trying to balance the potato, you have to balance the forks and the potato. And it gives it a very different center of gravity, which makes it a little bit easier to find and a little bit easier to balance. Ha ha!
Let's take a closer look at how the center of gravity works. Using our potato. No, that's too close. Back off a little bit. Okay, good. If you want to find where the center of gravity is, you can hang an object and draw a line straight down. Then hang it from a different spot and draw another line. Do this 1 or 2 more times and you can see where the lines meet is the center of gravity. If our potato was balanced on a stick, the center of gravity is a long way from the stick, so it's going to be pretty hard to balance. Now, let's stick some forks in the potato and try again. One line there, a line there, and a line there, and you can see that the lines all come together down here. That's right, the center of gravity doesn't have to be on the object. With the center of gravity way down there, when we try to balance the potato and the forks on the stick, you can see the center of gravity is much closer to the stick. That makes it way easier to balance.
Now, because you're science maximites, I'm sure you know that a potato and forks is just the beginning. Everything you have in your house has a center of gravity, which means theoretically you can balance anything. Try it yourself. Find things around the house and see if you can get them to balance. And if you can't, try adding things to increase the center of gravity and make it a little bit easier. Now we're gonna max it out. That's why I'm gonna go to the center for skills development and training, and we're gonna explore center of gravity even more. See if we can get something to balance. And what better thing to balance than me? Oh, table, right. Hey, this is Sandia and Swapna. No, Sandia and Swapna.
Right.
And they are going for their PhDs in science. And you guys, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Work with Let's Talk Science, right?
That's right.
All about science education, just like us. And I'm glad you guys are here because I need to max out this. Oh, look at it balance. Whoa. Hey, whoa. Okay, I got it, it's fine.
Good. So we're gonna get a gigantic potato?
No, I thought we would use me instead.
So you're the potato.
Yeah, I guess I'm the potato. All right. And I need something to balance on.
Well, how about a tightrope?
Oh yeah, a tightrope. Have either of you done a tightrope before?
Nope.
Me neither. All right, let's set one up.
All right.
Okay, good. Yeah, I guess it's great.
We're gonna take our balancing potato experiment and max it out. To get a potato to balance is pretty hard, but if you stick forks in the potato, it works a lot better. In our maxed out version, we're gonna balance on a slack line, which is sort of like a tightrope. It's a flat strap tightened between 2 points. And in this version, I'm the potato. And instead of sticking giant forks in me, which is not something I want to try, Sandia, Swapna, and I are going to experiment to see what I can do to improve my balance.
There. We're using this ratchet strap above a crash mat because we only have it about 3 feet off the ground, but it's still gonna be really hard to balance on, right?
Right.
Okay, so who gets to go first? Okay, here we go. Ready? Hey.
Got it?
No. No. Okay.
I think what you need to do is spread your mass out more to be able to find that center of gravity easier.
So I should balance on one leg?
Start by trying to put your arms out. Let's try this again.
Trying it again. All right.
All right, arms out.
Okay.
Let's see if this works.
Okay, so when I say, you're gonna let go. Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3, go. No.
It's a little bit better.
It was a little bit better.
A little longer.
That I went from 1 second to 3 seconds. Yeah.
Yes.
I would like to actually take one step.
Okay.
That would be nice.
Well,
What else can we do?
maybe we can try weights. Try and pull them out.
If I have weights in my hands, that would increase the center of gravity in terms of putting
Putting it
the
out.
weight on the outside. You guys have something we can use?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, good. Wow, these are heavy. Okay.
These are weights.
Yes, they are. Well, that's what they're for. They're supposed to be heavy. Good call. When I hold this one, and I'll borrow your shoulder, Swapna, and then when I say, Sandy, pass me the other weight. Here we go. Ready? And pass me the weight. Oh, no. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, good. Whoa. Okay, let go. Okay, let go. Oh, no. Oh, it's really hard. I feel I would work better if I could lift the
Yeah.
weights up, but they're too heavy for that.
All right.
So, what else can we do?
Well, tightrope walkers use a long pole so that they can balance on a tightrope.
That's right, I've seen that. Do we have a pole?
I can go find one.
Okay, great. I'll put the weights away.
Have you ever heard someone say, I will be back in a jiffy? Well, now you can tell them that's almost impossible. You see, a jiffy is an actual measure of time. It's 1/100th of a second. You see this timer? The first number is seconds. The second number is tenths of a second. And that third number that you can't even read, it's going so fast, that's hundredths of a second. Each one of those is a jiffy. Here are some things that happen in a jiffy. A cheetah moving top speed travels 20 centimeters. A hummingbird flaps its wings almost once. Can you blink in a jiffy? Nope, takes 10 jiffies for that. How about snapping your fingers? 8 jiffies. So the next time someone tells you, I'll be back in a jiffy, you can tell them it took 170 jiffies just to say that.
So I tried walking the slack line, and I wasn't very good at it. Holding my arms out at my sides seemed to help a little. Then I tried holding some weights to see if that would make any difference, and the weights were so heavy, I couldn't really hold them out very far. Now the plan is to try a long pole. Tightrope walkers use long poles to help them balance. The longer the pole is, the more it affects your center of gravity, especially because you can move it up and down to help you stay balanced.
Ta-da!
Nice. So the important thing on this is what? The balance, right?
Yeah, you
That's
want to find
right.
the center of gravity of that as well.
So
you
try
can
and find the center of the
balance
pole.
it.
The center is right there. That's where it balances.
There, you got it.
Okay. How do I hold this and get up on the strap?
I'll help
You're
you.
gonna help me? Okay. Oh, okay. Uh-huh. Whoa. Whoa.
You good?
Okay. I think I got it.
Okay.
Yeah. Whoa.
You're balancing.
Check it out. Hey, this isn't so bad.
Hey, look at that.
You can really use it to help correct when you start to fall. You just move the pole, and that's whoa. Totally helping my center of gravity stay right in the center above the strap. Whoa. Whoa.
You can do it.
A long pole can help tightrope walkers and me balance in 2 ways. First, it lowers my center of gravity. Normally, a person's center of gravity is about here. But with a pole, it changes to way down here, much lower to the thing I'm walking on. But a long pole also helps in another way, because in order to fall off the rope, I have to rotate. It's easier to rotate something that has mass in the middle than it is when the mass is spread out. That's why you put your arms out when you want to balance. A pole works just like your arms. The mass gets spread out way more, and it makes it much harder to rotate around the rope and fall off.
There you go. Center of gravity. We're done. Usually we don't have it figured out this quickly. Usually we struggle a little bit more. All right, high fives.
Way
we did
to
it.
go.
Way
Awesome.
to go. So we did it.
Yeah.
We achieved what we set out to do, balanced with a pole. So how else can we use science to make my balance better?
Well, tops are great because when they're spinning, they balance.
That's right. So the forces used when something spins is something I can use.
Yeah.
All right, this calls for another small experiment. Are you guys good here?
Yeah, sure. We'll keep practicing.
Awesome. All right, back to the lab.
Bye, Phil.
Here's another experiment that's all about balance. Take a pencil and try to balance it on its tip. Doesn't work that well, does it? But if you take a pencil and stick it through a circle of cardboard and try it again, it works. The reason is because this circle is spinning, it creates a force that keeps the pencil standing up. As long as the circle is spinning fast enough, it counteracts the force of gravity. Because of the conservation of angular momentum. The conservation of angular momentum. The conservation of angular momentum.
Science Max presents Ways to Sound Super Smart. A top will balance when it's spinning. It works because it spins. But why say it that way when you can impress your friends and all the adults you know by saying conservation of angular momentum? Why does a top spin? Because of the conservation of angular momentum. Between you and me, we know that it boils down to the fact that it's spinning. But conservation of angular momentum is how you say it if you're studying physics in university. Just remember to thank Science Max when you impress everyone by telling them a top balances Because of, say it with me, the conservation of angular momentum.
Now, let's max this out. Gyroscopic force is pretty amazing.
Because this bike tire is spinning, it's hard for me to move it. But it's really hard to see how much it resists a change in orientation unless I do this. Ha ha ha! It looks like it's defying gravity, but really it's because the amount of force needed to change its orientation is more than the force of gravity pulling down on it. It won't last forever, only as long as the bike tire keeps spinning. But you gotta admit, it's pretty cool science.
And, whoa. Science! Look at that, it totally balances.
Yeah.
So this is a great way to balance. Do you think it'll work if I hold it?
Well, let's see you try.
All right.
right.
So I'm gonna use you to get up on the thing, and Cindy, you go give her. Yeah, that's good. And spinning it up. Here we go.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Whoa. You can feel it. I can really feel it resisting, and
Yeah.
I think it would work.
I think it just needs to be spinning a lot faster.
That would make even stronger, yeah. It kind of hit my chest, so
You know what? Maybe you should keep it out to one side.
Well, it's still spinning, yeah.
that'll, won't that?
I think you need two.
Oh yeah, you're right, one on either side. It could be great if we could actually have some way to, I can keep my arms free though.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Get two wheels and we rope them into some sort of backpack situation.
What?
And we have a way for you guys to get the wheels spinning really fast.
I don't know.
No, I have it all in my head. Trust me, come on, I'll show you. I'll show you. Wait, you guys go around. Come, don't go on that side of the.
Time for a mini-max. Here's how you can use the forces of things spinning around to defy gravity! Well, sort of. Take a ping pong ball and put it in a plastic container like a cup, or this is the top of a CD spindle. Put it in and start spinning it around. If you do it right, you can get the ball spinning only on the sides of your container and not touching the bottom. That's centripetal force at work. Oh. It works a lot better and is much more impressive if you have something that doesn't have a bottom. Fortunately, I do. This bucket doesn't have a bottom. Put the ping pong ball in the bucket and spin it around, and if I'm very careful, I can lift the bucket into the air and ta-da! I'm defying the force of gravity. Science! Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Phil, is that it? Is that all you're gonna do? No, of course not. This is Science Max Experiments at Large. This is a garbage can with no bottom in it. And this is a bag of golf balls. Let's see what happens when we put them together. Well, I managed to keep one golf ball in my garbage can. But as you can see, it works really well. And there you go, sort of maxed out. This is a garbage can with the bottom cut out, and this is a soccer ball. I'm gonna see if I can keep the soccer ball inside the garbage can using centripetal force. Okay. It's working! It's very tiring though. How do you throw out a garbage can that's been used? Science! Here's a fun experiment you can do that plays with the forces created when you spin something. Get a flat platform or a tray and tie rope to every corner. Get an adult to help you with this. Then you get a cup of water. Use a plastic cup, definitely, just in case. You put it on the tray and you start spinning. Now, the force is created when you spin something. Centripetal force pulls the water to the outside of the circle. And because the centripetal force is stronger than the force of gravity, no water spills out of the cup, even when it's upside down. If you slow it down very carefully, you'll see that all the water is still in your cup. Now, I definitely suggest you do this experiment outside, and I definitely suggest you do it with an adult. Because when you get tired, which you will, if you don't stop it carefully, you'll have to explain what you've been doing. Science!
Using science to improve my balance has totally worked so far. So now, Sandia, Swapna, and I are trying to figure out how to use the forces created when a wheel spins to help me balance. We need a spinning wheel on one side and one on the other. I've decided to take 2 bikes and remove the handlebars, seats, and front wheels, then cross them over each other and attach them to a backpack. Sandy and Swapna can use the pedals to spin the tires fast, and I will use the gyroscopic force to balance. Or at least, that's the plan.
Behold, the gyroscopic stabilization backpack! Stabilization away! I'm excited. Okay, you think it's gonna work?
I think so. I'm kind of skeptical.
Really? You're skeptical? Why?
I don't know. I don't know if you can do it.
I don't know if I can do it either, but that's why we do science!
Let's see it.
Okay, spin me up. Okay. Huh.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right.
And oh, ready? Go.
Yep.
Oh yeah. It's working.
Cool.
It's working.
It's actually working.
It's good. Oh, what's getting harder? It's getting harder.
Uh-oh.
Oh. That worked really well until the wheels stopped spinning.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Well, when the wheel was spinning, it was resisting motion in all directions so that you wouldn't fall.
Yeah, but when they stopped spinning,
You didn't have that anymore.
that doesn't do anything. It's just a 50-pound weight on my back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. So I guess that's why tightrope walkers don't use spinning wheels. They use a pole instead.
Right.
But we've proven that they can.
Exactly.
Yeah. Max out, high five.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah! I now have the balance of a ninja circus performer thanks to...
Science!
Thanks for watching Science Max Experiments at Large. Okay, spin me up. Spin me up. And we'll do some more science. Gyroscopic backpack to the rescue. All right, let's go.
Science Max is a show where we take small experiments and do them big. If you want to try these experiments yourself, go to our website for instructions. But not all the experiments on Science Max are the kind you should try at home. This one, yes. This, no. Try this, don't try this. A big yes, a big no. I don't know how you could possibly do this one at home. And remember, if you're ever not sure, ask an adult. Thanks for watching Science Max Experiments at Large.
We should put fans on them and I can fly.
Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why didn't that work? And the reason is because I didn't do it right.
I got 2 turntables and no microphone. I am defying.
Come back here, spin it around, and spin it around, spin it around, and spin it.
Have you ever done a science experiment and wondered what it'd be like if you did it big? I have. My name is Phil, and I take your everyday science experiments and do them big. This is Science Max Experiments at Large. Science Max! Taking something flimsy and making something strong.
Whoa, pasta bridge!
We build things out of pasta, sand, and paper to show how you can use science to make something strong out of something weak.
Dry sand, wet sand, science sand.
It's all how you build it. Today on Science Max, experiments at large.
Oh, hi, Science Maximites. Have you ever been eating pasta and wondered, what could I build with this? Could I build something that could hold an impressive amount of weight? Well, I have, and that's what we're gonna do today on Science Max Experiments at Large. But we're not gonna use cooked pasta because it's too delicious. We're gonna use uncooked pasta, which is less delicious, but it's great for building. We're gonna make a pasta bridge. Here's how you do it. First, you wanna start with a plan. And then you want to take your pasta, I'm saying pasta, but of course spaghetti is usually the best thing to use, and lay it out on your plan. The reason you have a plan is so that you can make sure all of the spaghetti is exactly the right length. Lay it out on your plan, perfectly aligned like that, there. And now it's time to glue it all together. Now you can use white glue, but it takes a long time. So I suggest a hot glue gun, but make sure you get an adult's permission before you use one of these, okay? So you take your plan, you lay it out, you glue it up. Don't glue it on the paper because that will be bad. And you will end up with your truss, and it looks just like this. Now remember, you want 2 sides because those are the sides of your bridge. And as you can see, I've used several strands of pasta because that'll make it a little bit stronger. Once you have your trusses, it's time for the next part of the plan. This is the roadway, and it works the same way. Lay out your pasta, glue it up, and bam, there it is. Now, you put your trusses on your roadway, and you glue them all together, and you also want to put some struts along the top here, probably, to keep it nice and rigid. In the end, you will end up with a fantastic-looking pasta bridge. Pretty good, huh? Pasta bridge. No other bridge could claim to be 100% pasta. Minus the glue. 99.8% pasta. 0.2% glue.
I say there, Captain. Set sail. Set sail for the land of pasta bridges.
Now, if that was pretty fast for you, don't worry. All the instructions are gonna be on our website. Now, a bridge isn't a bridge unless it spans a gap, because that's what bridges are for. So you put your pasta bridge up there across the books like that, and then you can see just how much weight the bridge holds. It's pretty impressive. If you build it right, even something as flimsy and as delicate as pasta can hold quite a bit of weight. I like to use big, heavy blocks and put them in the middle where there is no support from the books whatsoever, and just keep adding heavy things and see how much weight the bridge will hold before it breaks. How much will it hold? Well, I'm not gonna tell you. That's where you get to be Science Maximites and find out for yourselves. And now, we're gonna max it out. Today on, oh, my pasta. Today on Science Max Experiments at Large, we're gonna be looking at how fragile things can become strong if you build them right. We're also gonna be maxing out the pasta bridge experiment to see if we can make one that's strong enough to hold me. You think we can do it? I know I have no idea, but I'm going to the Center for Skills Development and Training to find out. Oh, hey, Kyle.
Phil.
How you doing?
Great, thanks.
Awesome. This is Kyle. He's got a master's in civil engineering. Did you want some pasta?
I'm good.
I can go back and get some more.
Really, I'm good.
Okay. So what does a civil engineer do?
Well, a civil engineer builds the world around us. Talk about our homes, keeping us warm in the winter, our roads, hey, even our bridges.
Bridges, that's fantastic, because that's what I need your help with. I want to max out the pasta bridge.
Awesome.
I want to make one big enough that I can walk across it.
Okay, that's never been done before.
I know, right? You think we can do it?
We're gonna need a lot of help to do that.
We don't need help. All we need is a lot of pasta, which I have. Ha-ha!
Nice.
What do you say?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Okay, we'll give it a shot. Why don't we just take some to start, and then...
In order to max out our pasta bridge, the idea is to take many, many strands of pasta and just keep gluing them together so the long beams of pasta in our giant bridge is nothing but many, many regular-sized strands of pasta. Here's where we were after 20 minutes of gluing.
There, that's nice.
Yeah, I think this piece is done.
Okay, so how does it work? Is it strung? Whoa.
Well, let's give it a go, eh? Yeah, I think this will hold.
Great. So we just need to build a few more of these then, right?
Yeah, that's right.
How many more?
212 more.
212 of these.
More.
212, but it took us like 20 minutes to make this one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess so. I mean, this is Science Max Experiments at Large. That's what we do. We just keep building, and, you know, I don't have any plans for the next while, so we can...
Phil.
Yep.
I think that there's a better way of doing this.
I would be delighted to know there's a better way. It'd be faster than this.
Much faster.
Sure, let's do it.
Awesome.
I'm just gonna put the pasta back in the bag because it'll
Phil,
get stale.
You don't have to do that.
No, but it'll get stale.
Phil, I'm gonna call in one of my friends. We're probably gonna need some more help with this.
Oh man, that's a great idea. Sorry, that's a great idea because
Yeah.
because at least we could get your friend to help clean up.
Better sandcastles in 80 seconds.
Building sandcastles is fun, but you can't use dry sand because it doesn't stay up very well. You have to use wet sand. But even if you use wet sand, it doesn't hold a lot of weight. But if you use sand with the power of science, it does hold the weight. Dry sand, wet sand, science sand. Here's what's going on. Say these ping pong balls are grains of sand. When they're dry, they don't hold together very well. That's why you can't build a sandcastle out of dry sand. But if you get the sand wet a little bit, the grains of sand will hold together a little better because of the surface tension of the water. That's why it's easier to build a sandcastle with wet sand, but they still won't hold much weight. But if you add something that creates even more friction between the grains of sand, like say this sandpaper, it will hold the weight. So here's what you do. Take window screen and cut it into circles. Make sure you get an adult's permission first, okay? Deal? Put in a layer of sand, pack it down, and put in a circle of window screen. And a layer of sand, pack it down, circle of window screen. Then, you guessed it, layer of sand, pack it down, circle of window screen. The window screens are gonna add more friction between the grains of sand and will make your sandcastle strong. Strong with the power of science. And then, you can put lots of weight on it. And there you go. Sand with the power of science. Ha ha! Okay, I had to max it out. Let's see how strong science sand really is. Huh? Ha 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 ha! Science!
Our pasta bridge was going to take a long time to build out of individual pieces. So we have a new plan.
Hey, Michaela.
Hey, Phil.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. This is Michaela. She's an undergrad in industrial engineering, right?
I am.
And you and Kyle have a new plan for how we can build our pasta bridge that's not gonna look like this.
Oh, man.
This is the best that Kyle and I could do with 20 minutes.
Okay, well, I have better.
Good, I'm glad. How are we gonna do it?
So, instead of that, we're gonna try something like this.
Oh, okay. This is sort of like a giant burrito kind of thing, right?
Yep,
But we're going to build the bridge out of this.
exactly.
We're gonna make it longer, though?
Yep, we're gonna make it 8 feet long. We have this long pole, right?
Yep.
And we have sheets of this pasta. We're gonna put them on the diagonal,
Okay.
and we're gonna roll it, but we're gonna start from this corner, and we're gonna keep rolling.
And don't
All
forget
right?
to add water.
And we gotta add water.
I'll add the
'cause-
water.
Okay.
Adding water, just like this?
Yep. It helps the pasta to stick together. So as we're rolling, we're rolling, we're rolling. We're gonna keep doing this with a bunch more sheets so that it gets really, really long, like 8 feet long. And when we're finally done rolling, we gotta spray it with some varnish,
Yep.
and so it all holds together.
Great, and then it's gonna be about this thick
Yeah,
when we're finished with it.
exactly.
This is gonna be one of the parts of the deck of our bridge.
Great, so each one of these large pieces is gonna be like one single strand of pasta, and the little bridge will be.
Yeah,
We need a lot of these.
a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Still, it's a lot faster than doing it piece by piece with just spaghetti.
Oh.
Every time I hold it up, you make that noise.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
awesome. The shape of something makes a big difference in how strong it is. Get some toilet paper rolls and put them in a square, and then stack books on top of them. They can hold weight. Thing is, they can actually hold a lot more weight than you probably think. In fact, the amount of weight just paper in a tube can hold is really kind of impressive. Ha ha! And now, let's max it out. Bill's weight on 2 toilet paper rolls. Nope. Bill's weight on 4 toilet paper rolls. Nope. Bill's weight on 6 toilet paper rolls. Nope. Bill's weight on 10 toilet paper rolls. Oh. Ha! Ha ha! Bill's weight can be supported by 10 toilet paper rolls. But what if Bill jumps? Ha 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 ha. Didn't really work.
Kyle and Michaela's plan is to use a long pole and sheets of uncooked pasta. We roll the pasta around the pole and spray it with a little varnish. We roll sheets and sheets of pasta along an 8-foot-long pole, making many layers of pasta. Then we wait for it to dry and remove the pole. What we have is an 8-foot-long hollow tube of pasta that becomes a single piece of the bridge. Then we attach a bunch of these pieces together and use more sheets of pasta to glue them into the shape we used for our small pasta bridge.
We're making our giant pasta bridge by wrapping sheets of pasta around and around the poles using the technique we just had, making a whole large pole out of many, many, many sheets of pasta rolled around each other. And we've made a giant truss. Look at this. This is great, guys.
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah. If I hit it, you think it'd stay together?
No, stop.
What?
This is pasta, not steel. It's only made to just hold you.
Kyle, what do you think are the chances that this is gonna hold me when we build it?
Something like 50-50?
Not bad. Michaela, what do you think?
I'm gonna hope for the best.
Hoping for the best. That's exactly the kind of gray area we like to work in at Science Max Experiments at Large. Experiments at Large, I don't know if anybody's even ever done this before.
Not to my knowledge.
I don't think so.
Which is why we have no idea if it's going to work. Okay, so one more of these, because these are the sides.
Yep.
Roadway, and then the top.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, let's do it.
While we're waiting, it's a good moment to point out one of the things that makes our bridge really strong. That is triangles. As you can see, the truss, or the side of our bridge, is really just 3 big triangles. Triangles are very strong shapes to build with, and they work great in bridges. Now it's time for Science So Simple, a caveman could do it. This is a caveman.
Huh?
Today we're going to teach this caveman how to build a strong structure. Here are some boxes. Go on and build a shelter, and I'll come back and see how it worked out. No, that's not right. You need to build walls by stacking boxes on top of each other. That's how you build.
Understand?
Oh, yeah.
I'll come back later and see how it worked out.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Does that look right to you?
Yeah.
Look at those boxes. They're stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
But if they are in tall stacks, what would happen if you push on the wall? You see? Walls don't stay up if you build like that. Let's try again. I'll help you this time. First, lay out the foundation. Where your wall should go.
Oh.
Good. Now let's make the second level. No, don't put it right on top. You need to stack in between. That's how you make a strong wall.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll come back later.
Yeah.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Why don't you give it a try?
Ah. Ah.
Looks strong, but you forgot a box.
Huh?
Join us next time when we talk about how to make a door.
Building a door in a wall is hard because how do you make a big gaping hole in your wall without your wall falling over? Well, people have come up with lots of ways to put doors and windows in walls made of stone blocks over the centuries. And you can do this at home with books like I'm doing or with building blocks. Just go up until you're happy with the height and then stack each next layer a little closer to the middle until the final layer touches just like this. And then you take a big heavy book and you drop it right on top. And it's pretty stable. And you've just made a doorway. It works even better if it's part of a wall because you want extra weight on the outside of these books here. So of course, I had to build one that was part of a whole wall. This is the same corbelled arch built out of little building blocks. And as you can see, I went closer and closer together until it meets at the top, and it is very strong. Whoa. Ha-ha! Now, let's max it out.
The kind of arch we're building is a corbelled arch. And the Science Max build team and I are using pieces of wood cut to different lengths.
How high can it go? We can use my head to, no, okay, wait.
It takes a while to get together, but once it's done, it looks just like the kinds of doorways stone buildings had in ancient times.
Ta-da! There you go, a maxed out corbelled arch. We went straight up until we got to these layers, and they got a little bit closer and closer to the middle until the last piece is one big solid piece. And if we built this right, it should be strong enough to hold me up. Yeah! Science! Woo-hoo! Well, it held me up for a minute, didn't it?
We rolled our pasta and constructed one truss. Now we've made a lot more rolls of pasta and connected them all together to make a second truss and a roadway, as well as the cross braces on top. And when we get it all together, we end up with...
Whoa! Pasta bridge!
Pasta bridge!
We did it! We built it. We have no idea how long it will stay up, but it's up. It's doing its bridge thing for now, anyway. I am very excited because, as far as we know, I'm the only one to try to cross a bridge made out of pasta. What do you guys think?
I think I don't want you to be the last person to cross a pasta bridge.
You're absolutely right, but I'm gonna do it. I think we're ready. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Ah!
Oh no, that doesn't bode well for our pasta bridge. What happened here, Kyle?
You put all your weight in the middle of the joist. It snapped.
If only there was a way to distribute your weight. Maybe if you crawled?
Do like the military style kind of.
Oh, right, so that I'm putting my weight on more than one spot.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, wait a minute. That gives me an idea. You guys stay right there. I know what to
Okay.
do. I know what to
Okay.
do. I know what to do.
You're coming back, right?
Skis distribute your weight, over a large area so you don't sink in the snow. That's what skis do, which is perfect for the pasta bridge.
Come on.
Okay, here
Come
we go.
on.
Carefully.
Uh-huh. Is it working?
It's working.
I hear some cracking.
This might do it.
Uh-huh.
Try to spread your legs apart.
Spreading my
Distribute
legs
your weight.
apart.
Distribute your weight.
Distributing my weight. It's swaying a lot.
Oh man.
Oh. Whoa.
Crossing the pasta bridge! Woo! High fives! There you go. Science Max, experiments at large, pasta bridge, skis. What more could you want? Maybe a pasta chairlift of some sort. Science! Wear it. It is the fashion accessory of the year. I want to travel down it. Should have made it bigger. Science! 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 How long do I hold this piece for?
A long time.
Guys? Guys? This isn't fun anymore, guys.
Have you ever done a science experiment and wondered what it'd be like if you did it big? I have. My name is Phil, and I take your everyday science experiments and do them big. This is Science Max, experiments at large. Science Max! This episode of Science Max is all about elastic energy. We use it to build a catapult and a paddle wheel boat, and then we max them out. We even learned some history. Elastic energy. Today on Science Max, experiments at large.
Welcome to Science Max Experiments at Large. I'm Phil McCordick, and today we're going to be building one of the most devastating, one of the most powerful machines known to medieval man, using a plastic spoon, among other things. We're going to be building a catapult. Catapults were used throughout history for all kinds of reasons, to throw all kinds of things, but mostly big stone blocks at castle walls in order to knock them down. Here's what you need in order to build your own catapult. You need elastics, pencils, unsharpened is fine, plastic spoons, like I said, and popsicle sticks. Popsicle sticks. Popsicle sticks. I'm gonna go wash my hand. So, here's the science behind what we're doing today. It's all about elastic force. Elasticity is a property of solid materials, like this elastic, and how much they tend to return to their original shape when deformed, like when I pull on it. Elastics are called elastics because they're great at doing just that. You can pull on it and pull on it and pull on it, and it'll, always return to its original shape. So we are using the power of elastic force today. Ow.
Now it's time for a Science Max quiz. Elasticity is the ability for a material to return to its original shape when deformed, like this or this. Which of these materials have elasticity? A rubber band, a pencil, or a rock? Haha! This is a trick question. The answer is all three. Most solid materials have elasticity. Nearly everything will deform a little and still be able to return to its original shape. It all depends on how much. This is a steel bar. This is an elastic band. And this is an ice cream sundae. We're not talking about ice cream sundaes now, though. So get that out of here. Good. Now, a steel bar and an elastic band both have elasticity. A steel bar can be stretched to 1% of its length and still spring back. A rubber band can be stretched 300% or more. The difference between the two is why we make balls out of rubber and buildings out of steel, because the other way around wouldn't be good for balls or buildings. This has been a Science Max quiz.
All right, let's build our catapult. The first step, take 4 pencils and stick your popsicle stick in between so you have 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. And then use your elastic to go around and around and around. That's why I like building things with elastics, because it makes it very fast to tie things together, because once you go around and you have it nice and tight, you just pop it over the end and voila, it stays together. And that is how you start making your frame. Put more pencils on that side.
And another popsicle stick on the other end, held on at the corners with more elastics. Then, take even more elastics and put them right around the middle until you get this.
I've added a few more elastics around the middle here, and that is where we're gonna get all of our elastic force. I think I have 6. The more you use, the better it's going to work. Take your popsicle stick, stick in between the elastics, and then start spinning it around. Here's the reason I use pencils and popsicle sticks, is because the pencils are a little bit longer, which allows you to twist the popsicle stick around in the middle and build up the elastic force. Now, because I'm twisting, the elastic force we're using here is called torsion, or twisting force. When you feel you have enough torsion, pull your popsicle stick down a little bit so it won't unwind on you, and you'll see that you have all kinds of elastic energy. Then, take your spoon and stick it on the popsicle stick, and you can also break off the popsicle stick if you want to make sure it's the right length. And it works like that.
To make the frame, you just need more pencils and elastics. The trick is to make a triangle with 2 pencils attached to your frame. They should stick up right where your catapult arm would be fully upright. Then, take a final pencil and put it across the top. Don't forget to pull the arm back before you put the pencil across, otherwise it'll end up on the wrong side.
Now, this is very complicated, and I went pretty fast, so if you want the step-by-step instructions on exactly how to build this, go to our website. And there you go, a catapult of your very own that you can use to knock down very small castle walls. I've also built a larger catapult using all of the same principles. Pretty good, huh? It's got a longer arm, which means I can throw marshmallows even further. Whoa. Or I can throw larger marshmallows, or I can throw very large marshmallows. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Phil, is that the largest catapult you're gonna make? Well, of course not. This is Science Max, experiments at large. I'm headed to the Center for Skills Development and Training, and we're gonna max out the catapult so that it's big enough to throw one of these. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Phil.
How you doing?
All right.
This is Zach. He's a mechanical engineer, and you build machines for a living, right?
That's right.
Great, because I need help building a catapult.
Okay, but what's with the pumpkin?
Well, the pumpkin is what I want to throw out of the catapult. See, I figure we just take the small design and we just make it so that we can throw one of these. What do you think?
You're gonna need a really big catapult.
Yeah, and I'm also gonna need some really big elastics. Where do you get those?
Well, in medieval times, they used rope to make large catapults.
Oh, okay, well, rope is a lot easier to get, and that would be fine. And I want to make this arm as long as this piece of wood here.
This is gonna be a huge catapult.
It's a huge catapult. I guess we should build it outside, though, huh?
Let's do it.
Okay, it's over that way.
Okay.
I'll follow you.
Sure, do you want a hand with that?
No, I'm fine. You go ahead, and
Okay.
I'll just, maybe if you hold the door open for me, I could just hold, no, you know what, you go and I'll meet you.
You sure you're good?
Our full-size catapult is going to look a lot like the popsicle stick version. We start with a 4-sided frame and add some legs on the bottom. Our spoon is going to be replaced by a long throwing arm with a basket on the end. Then we need a really strong cross brace at the top to stop the arm. Just like in the small version, using a triangle shape is the best because triangles are very strong. Finally, we need something to wind around and around, which is going to give us our elastic force. Instead of elastics, we're going to be using rope for our catapult because rope has just the right amount of elasticity. But unlike medieval times, we're going to be catapulting pumpkins. Once Zach and I got it all put together, it looked like this.
Okay, we have built a catapult. Check it out. It's pretty solid, and I think it's pretty amazing. And just like in the small catapult, we have our elastic force. But this time we're using rope, right, Zach?
Yes.
Okay, and rope will work as well as the elastic did in the small one?
Yeah.
All right, great. So what do we do? It's really loose now.
We need to wind this up so that we put some tension into it.
Go!
The reason a catapult works is because the rope is twisted. The elasticity in the rope wants to unwind, which gives the catapult its power. Just like the small catapult, the more you wind it, the better it works.
Good. Usually in medieval days, they had whole teams of people doing this job, but it's just me and Zach now. How you doing, Zach?
All right.
Okay. And then we clamp it on here. So the thing doesn't unwind, right?
Yeah.
Good. All right, now we have our pumpkin, and we're gonna fire our pumpkin in our castle wall, which is made out of cardboard boxes over there. Pumpkin. All right, here we go. Pulling the arm back. Oh, that elastic force is pretty strong. Okay. How do you think you think that pumpkin's a good size?
Oh, it's pretty big.
You think?
Oh, a little too big.
It's too big for our basket.
Yep.
Smaller pumpkin! Smaller pumpkin! I'll hold this. No rush, Zach. No rush. Okay, rush, Zach. Can't hold.
Oh, yeah.
Can't hold arm. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3! It didn't work that well.
No, not quite that well.
Yeah, so
Let's see.
it went, and it flew, and it landed here, which is a little farther away from the wall than I'd like it to be. 1/3 of the way to the wall! I don't know if that's enough. What do we do to make it better?
Well, the way we're throwing it right now, we just have the pumpkin in a, at the end of the arm. But
Yeah.
if we make some kind of a sling so that we fling it as we're bringing it up.
We make a sling?
Yes.
All right, I don't know how to make a sling, but you know how?
Sure.
All right, we'll make it, and then you can explain how it works.
Yeah.
All right, good. Let's put the pumpkin over here. We'll recycle it later.
Max Historica. Good morrow to you. I am Lord Fillington III, and welcome to my medieval castle. Throughout history, lords and kings have built castles and walls to keep people out. I built my castle to protect my prize collection of snow globes. I have so very many, and they're all mine. Ha ha! Oh, hello! You down there! You can't come in. This is my castle.
And throughout history, there have been people who've been wanting to get into those castles because Lord Fillington has been hogging all the snow globes, and I'd like to look at them. But the hard part is figuring out how to get into the castle, because I can't just come up to the wall and start hammering on it. Huh?
Taste the wrath of my water balloon!
Because if I get too close to the castle, he can get me.
Ha 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 ha! Fortunately, there's this thing called a catapult.
Oh, fiddlesticks. They have a catapult. What you do is you put something heavy in the end here, and the catapult fires it at the walls of the castle, knocks them down, all from far enough away that the people in the castle can't get to you. Ah! Oh, I surrender! Don't knock my walls down! It'll take me all week to fix them. Oh. All right, you can have a snow globe. Oh. And that's how catapults were used in history. Oh, so beautiful.
Back to our maxed out catapult. Our first design threw a pumpkin just like it was supposed to, except it only threw it 1/3 of the way to the wall. Now Zach and I are planning to outfit the catapult with a sling. The sling attaches to the end of the throwing arm and gives the pumpkin a lot more distance to travel.
because the pumpkin is traveling a longer distance in the same amount of time, it will be going faster, which will hopefully get it to the wall, or at least a lot farther than before.
So we built this sling. How does this work, Zach?
Well, we've got one end tied here.
Yeah.
And then we put the pumpkin in here.
Wait. Okay, pulling arm down. Pulling arm down. Okay, yeah, now what?
Now we put the pumpkin in here.
Put the pumpkin in there.
Yeah. And then we loop this over the back of the, over that. As the throwing arm goes up, this will slide off the back of the throwing arm and it will release the pumpkin.
All right, you're the expert. I believe you. Let's try it out. 3, 2, 1. Whoa! Okay, that works really well. You know what the problem is, though? We still don't have enough oomph.
Yeah, it needs more power.
So what do we do? I don't know if we can crank that rope anymore.
I think we're at the limit of our rope power, but if we added some more elastic.
I thought we weren't going to use elastic.
Well, we used elastics in our small demo model, so what if we use some more?
We have elastics? I don't know
yeah,
if we
brought
have...
some in here just in case.
What's this?
It's surgical tubing.
It's like a giant elastic. Well, I guess this is elastic force. So do we twist it around at the bottom there?
Well, we just wrap it around the throwing arm like this.
Oh, I see. So we tie it here.
Yeah, we just need a lot more, and then...
And then we pull this, and it would be... Oh, yeah, that would make a lot more. So we just need a lot more of this elastic... What is this again?
Surgical tubing.
Surgical tubing. It's like a giant elastic. Fantastic. All right.
Goggles on.
Goggles on. Yes. Yes.
Here's another fun way you can play with elastic force. Take a milk carton. I prefer Science Max milk because it's the creamiest. 2% cream, 100% science. Wrap some elastic bands around it with some popsicle sticks on the bottom, sort of like feet. Then take some clamshell packaging, which wraps just about anything you buy nowadays, and cut out a square or a rectangle. Then wrap some tape around that square with an elastic in it, and put the elastic on the feet of your milk carton. Then wind it around and make sure you go backwards so your paddle wheel boat will go forwards when you put it in the water. And there you go, a paddle wheel boat. Now it is time to max it up. Ahoy, the SS maxed out elastic force paddle wheel boat mattress. I need a better name. But I've made a giant paddle wheel boat that will work on elastic force because I've got surgical tubing as my elastics, and that's an air mattress. And then I use some lumber to hold it all together. And of course I need a paddle wheel, and what better thing to use in a pool than a flutterboard? Okay, here we go. So normally you're not allowed to wear your clothes and your shoes in the pool, but I got special permission because of science. Besides, I'm not worried at all, so I didn't wear my swimming outfit because I figure I can totally do this entire experiment without even getting wet. That is how confident I am. All right, now the tricky part, we'll be getting onto the mattress. Okay, here we go. Ha-ha! Whoa. Ha-ha! The SS Science! Hey, SS Science, that's a great name for this. Look, it works great, and I managed to stay totally dry. Huh? Well, almost. Whoa, oh. Haha, you thought I was gonna fall in the pool, but I didn't. Uh-oh. My flutterboard has stopped moving, and I'm in the middle of the pool. Almost. Yeah. Didn't think this through. No. 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 No, that's not going to work. Maybe I'll wait.
Our maxed out catapult was working well with the sling we attached to it, but it still didn't make it all the way to the wall. Zach's idea is to attach a bunch of surgical tubing to the cross piece of the catapult. Surgical tubing is pretty much big elastics, so we'll have two places we're getting elastic force from, the rope and the surgical tubing. Hopefully this design is enough to help our catapult fling a pumpkin far enough to hit the castle wall.
All right, here we go. You hold that. I get this. We got our system down now. Okay. Oh. This goes up to there. Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Nope. 1, 2, 3. Oh! Oh! It went too far. It went too far. That's so good. Oh man.
Right.
Okay, so all we gotta do is move the catapult back. So you get that side, I'll get this side, and we'll move the catapult. See, now our catapult is too good. We gotta back it away from the castle. All right, let's go again. Aha, pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Pulling arm back.
Pulling arm back. Grunting.
Loading. Pumpkin. Hooking rope on arm.
Hooking rope on arm. More grunting.
More grunting. Pulling back strongly. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Oh. Oh, wow. Woo.
We're inside the castle.
We're still inside the castle. Oh, man. It's an excellent shot, though. So what do we do? Move the catapult back?
Yeah.
Move the catapult back. What about
here?
Here. Here we go again. Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Loading arm.
Loading arm.
All right, you ready? You think it's gonna work? We've done every modification we can possibly do. So you think it's gonna work this time?
We did it. It's gonna work.
Okay, here we go. I'm excited. All right, ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Yeah! Woohoo! High fives! Well, there you have it. Awesome job. Now we need to throw fingers to see who gets to rebuild the castle. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Oh, thanks very much for joining us. Let's take a break. I'll rebuild the castle. You see, this is exactly how catapults used to work. They'd hit the same part of the wall over and over until they made a big hole, and that would weaken the wall. Fortunately for me, it's really easy to fix. Just put this right in here. Oh, man. The pool will be closing in 5 minutes.
No, I'll do it. No, why do you ask?
Taste the wrath of my water balloon!
I don't believe it really sells it if he doesn't smash the water balloon. Does he? Good moral to you! I got my feather in my face.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Have you ever done a science experiment and wondered what it'd be like if you did it big? I have. My name is Phil, and I take your everyday science experiments and do them big. This is Science Max, experiments at large. Science Max! What good is science if you can't use it to give you super strength? Well, I try to do just that on this episode of Science Max. Lifting more, rolling more, and a whole lot of running. Simple machines. Today on Science Max, experiments at large. Greetings, Science Maximites. I have a question for you. Have you ever wanted superpowers? Like super strength? Well, today on Science Max Experiments at Large, I'm gonna give you and myself super strength using the power of science. But we're gonna do things a little differently today. You see, well,
The portal hasn't been working perfectly since I built it. But I ordered a new particle impulse controller, and all I have to do is get it back to the lab. Perfect timing. It looks like the portal is broken. Okay, well, no problem. Okay, I'm here. Wow.
That's perfect. One particle impulse controller for you.
All right, thanks very much.
No problem.
Appreciate it.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Well, my very own particle impulse controller, okay. That's as heavy as I thought it was gonna be. All right, Science Maximites, this episode of Science Max Experiments at Large is gonna be a little different because today I'm not gonna have an expert come and help me because I'm gonna move that giant, heavy particle impulse controller all the way across the parking lot and all the way up that loading ramp by myself with nobody's help. How am I gonna move a giant, heavy machine all that way if I can barely even budget? Well, I'm gonna give myself superpowers, super strength with the power of simple machines. And the first machine we're gonna start with is the lever, which I guess I should go back to the lab to tell you about. All right, Sal, I'll see you next time. Oh, hey, how you doing? Let me guess, you got some work to do and you need it done easy, right? I mean, look at this book. I mean, you could pick it up, but what, are you gonna be some sort of book picker-upper person now? Is that all you're gonna do? Is that gonna be your life, just picking up books left, right, and center? No, you're smarter than that. You know what you need? A lever, like this. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking, hey, this is just a plank. You're right, that's because you're smart. A plank can be a lever. All you need is two sides and a place for it to pivot. A fulcrum. It can be anything. Look at this. Bam! Now it's pivoting. I put the book on this side, and then I push down on that side. I'm doing work easy. Hey, look at me doing this work over here. If I want to do more work, I could move the fulcrum a little bit further over. Now I do lots of work, but I lift the book a lot further. Look at that. Whoa! Wow! Whoa! Yeah! Huh? What do you say? Huh? Huh? You don't like this lever? Don't worry. Hold on. I got another one for you here. Hey, take this stick. All you need is two ends and a place for it to pivot. Like this. Bam! Now, it's a lever. This side goes down, that side goes up. Down, up. It's a lever. It's a lever. You want to make a catapult? Use a spoon. The place where the spoon pivots is the fulcrum. And now, it's a lever. It's a lever. It's a lever. Look at this lamp. Now, it's a lever. Scissors, two levers. Your forearm, it's a lever, two ends, and the fulcrum where it pivots, yeah, the fulcrum can be at one end. Crazy. This fish, you guessed it, now it's a lever. And now you know your levers. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, levers. So you can use levers to become much stronger, or at least lift something you couldn't normally lift. Levers are simple machines and they work like this. Levers are just a long rod or a stick or pole or a piece of wood like I've got here, and something for them to pivot on, a fulcrum. Now let's say you have something heavy, like this book. Sure, I can lift it, but what if I told you I can lift this heavy book with this book? Now, if the fulcrum is in the middle, like a seesaw, you can tell that book is much heavier than the other book. But watch what happens when I move the fulcrum. Huh? It's like magic, but it's not magic, it's science. Whoa. It's because the small weight is moving a long distance, and the heavy weight is moving a short distance. Small weight, long distance, heavy weight, short distance. So, everything balances out. But here's where it gets interesting. The longer your lever, the more weight you can lift. These are two heavy cinder blocks. There's the fulcrum, and here is a very long lever with which I'm going to lift those cinder blocks with this book. And there you have it, levers. Now, back to the particle impulse controller. Oh, right. Ha 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 ha! Lever! Here we go. I got my giant lever. The bigger the lever is, the easier it is to do the work. I need a fulcrum. Just about anything will do for a fulcrum. And put that there. Now the hardest part is getting it on the lever. Okay. All right, hardest part is over. Get the lever up on the fulcrum. And, oh, look at this. No problem, one finger lifting. It suddenly became very easy for me to move this. I guess I need to do more than just lift it though, huh? Because I have to move it all the way. Oh, rollers! Come on, back to the lab. Okay, rollers. Rollers are like wheels, except they're not attached to anything. In ancient times, they used to move giant, heavy blocks of stone using rollers. We can demonstrate using a book. Now get a book, put it on a table, and try to move it across the table. You'll see that it's very difficult. I can't move this book across the table. I can't. Okay, it's not really that hard, but still, it takes effort. But if we get some rollers, I like to use pencil crayons and not pencils, and here's why. Take a closer look. You see, pencils aren't round. They're hexagonal. They have 6 sides, whereas pencil crayons are round. And of course, if you want something to roll, you want something round. So get a bunch of pencil crayons and put them on the table and put the book on the pencil crayons, and you'll see that suddenly moving it is a lot easier. All right, that's rollers. Back I go.
Now it's time for Science So Simple, a Caveman Could Do It. This is a caveman. This is a rock.
Knock!
It is a well-known scientific fact that if this caveman were to try to move that rock, he would not know how to do it easily. Poor caveman. But in ancient times, people learned how to move heavy rocks using ropes
No!
and rollers.
Oh, wrong earth.
Yes, rollers.
Wrong earth.
Rollers.
Wrong earth.
Close enough. Rollers make it much easier to move a heavy object. But they aren't perfect. So the wheel was invented. The wheel is a simple machine and one of mankind's greatest inventions. But no, that's not how it works.
No?
Wheels go on axles, which go under a platform. Now you have something to place that heavy rock on to move it around. But all these great inventions came after the time of the caveman. Cavemen had to do everything the hard way. Join us next time for more science.
Okay, I've got rollers. They're just plastic pipes, but they'll work perfectly. I put them here. And now to lift up the machine. Okay. Perfect. And so the rollers go underneath like that. And then whoa. Whoa, careful.
Uh-huh. Look at that. No problem. Wait, I gotta get rid of this to get it moving. Now the trick with rollers is you have to keep taking them out of the back and putting them in the front. But, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's stop, rollers, stop. Oh no, oh no. Okay, okay, whoa, rollers, easy. There we go. Okay, in the front, roll it forward.
Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking this seems like a lot of work. And it's true, moving the rollers back and forth does take some time. But did you know this was how the pyramids were built? It's true. Giant stone blocks were moved on rollers just like I'm doing here. And as you can see, what worked for the ancient Egyptians works for me too. Uh-oh. Yeah, there's a hill here. If I go down the hill, it's gonna start rolling faster than I can do the rollers. I'm gonna need some help. Oh, I know! Pulleys! 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 Okay, pulleys. Pulleys are a great way to change the direction of force. I've got a rope going through this pulley and down to a book. So when I pull the rope down, the book goes up. Changing the direction of force can be very helpful, but pulleys can be helpful in another way. Pulleys can let you lift something that you couldn't normally lift. Now the rope goes up and down and up and down and up and down. And the force I need to lift this cinder block is a lot less than if I was just lifting it by myself. But I've got to pull a lot more rope. That's called mechanical advantage. Spreading out the force over a longer pull so you can lift a larger weight. If you use more pulleys, it reduces the amount of force. 1 pulley, same amount. 2 pulleys, half the force. 3 pulleys, 1/3. So I've got 5 pulleys here, which means I only need 1/5 the force to lift this cinder block. So there you go, pulleys. Now back to the, wait a minute. This calls for a mini-max. So how much weight can you lift with pulleys? Well, as much as you want, really. I have 4 pulleys on the bottom and 4 pulleys at the top. That means with 8 pulleys, I only have to lift 1/8 of my weight plus the weight of the chair I'm sitting in. And if I keep pulling, you will see that the chair I'm sitting in is roped to the pulleys. So now we see if I can pull myself up with nothing but pulleys. Look at that! I'm totally lifting myself into the air with the power of pulleys. And I don't need to use 2 hands. In fact, I only need to use 1 finger to hold myself up. And my thumb, obviously, to hold the rope. That is the power of pulleys. I can almost make myself fly. Well, almost. Now, back to the particle impulse controller. Letting myself down. Whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Particle impulse controller. Let's go. Wait. All right, I've been able to use this pulley to lower it down the hill at the speed I want to go. Interestingly, I'm using the pulley not to make it lighter, but to just change the direction of force. And I managed to get it right here at the bottom. Now I've got to get it up onto the loading dock, so I think this is where I need a ramp. Whoa, whoa. Oh.
something mind-bending you can do with pulleys. These buckets are attached to the table through a pulley. There's nothing holding this table up except for the weight of the buckets pushing down on the table. So if I took the buckets off the table, the weight of the buckets pulls the table up. But because the buckets are on the table, everything is in balance. Mind-bending, right? Okay, wait, it gets better. If I took a weight and I put it on the table, the weight of the buckets isn't enough to keep the table up. So I have to add more weight to the buckets, so the buckets pull the table up. Whoa. And there you have it. It's weird, it's mind-bending, it's science.
Okay. Ramps. Ramps are a great way to move something up. I will demonstrate using, you guessed it, a book. Let's say I wanted to move this heavy book on top of this stack of books using just this little string. Watch what happens. The string breaks, but if I built a ramp to get the book on top of this stack, and I use the same kind of string, watch what happens this time. Whoa. You see, the ramp distributes the force, so you use less force to pull the book over the same amount of distance, and I can get it up to the top of the stack of books, and the string doesn't break. So ramps, let's put them into action. Woo. My simple machines have worked great. I've managed to get the particle impulse controller all the way to the loading dock. But now it's time for the hardest job. What I need to do is build a ramp that goes from the ground up to the loading dock. Then I need to pull the heavy impulse controller up the ramp. The best way to do that is to use a system of pulleys. I have 3 pulleys on one end and 2 pulleys on the controller. Because I have 5 pulleys working together, I'll only have to lift 1/5 of the weight. The plan is to get it tipped over onto the ramp, then use rollers to help it roll up as I pull on the rope. There's 3 pulleys on that piece of wood over there, and I got 2 pulleys on this piece of wood here. And now, if I pull, and I carefully put the rollers underneath, careful, perfect. Okay, now it's on the rollers, and now I can pull it up the ramp. Now I gotta carefully put new rollers underneath as I go. Pull it up the ramp. Roller. I know what you're thinking. It still seems pretty difficult. If only the simple machines could give me longer arms. Well, they can't do that. But what they can do is give me the strength to do this heavy job with no one else around but me.
Hopefully that won't be a problem.
There we go. I did it. All the way across the parking lot and up onto the loading dock with the help of levers, rollers, ramps, and pulleys. The hard part's done. Now I just have to get it into the lab. All right, let's see if all that... I think it's working. Well, there you go. Thanks very much for joining me on Science Max Experiments at Large. I think I'm gonna go home because it's been a long day and I could really use the rest. See you next time. Wait, I hit 3, 4, 1, 2. I should have hit 3, 4, 2, 1. Yeah, that's okay. I'll just go back and, Now, this is a lever. See, it's a catapult and a spoon. It's two things in one. I mean, it could also be, it could also be some sort of like, it's like an eye patch.
Have you ever done a science experiment and wondered what it'd be like if you did it big? I have.
My name is Phil, and I take your everyday science experiments and do them big. This is Science Max, experiments at large. Science Max!
Today on Science Max, we're looking at
Chemicals!
chemicals make up everything around us, and we're finding out which ones you can mix together to make spectacular science.
Woo! Cutest science ever.
Today on Science Max, experiments at large.
Greetings, Science Maximites! My name is Phil McCordick, and the name of the show is Science Max Experiments at Large. Today, we're taking a closer look at chemistry. Ooh. Chemistry is the science of atoms and molecules, the things that make up all matter, and how they interact with each other. Take, for example, this glow stick. Actually, don't take it, because I kind of need it. The glow stick doesn't glow until you... The glow stick doesn't glow until you break the barrier and mix the two chemicals, and they start to glow. Huh? Pretty cool, huh? Chemistry. Now, the chemical reaction we're looking at today is the old vinegar and baking soda volcano. But this reaction doesn't have anything to do with volcanoes. It's chemistry. Now, this experiment is totally safe, but I do recommend you get an adult's permission before you do it because it's very messy. Yeah. First, you're gonna want baking soda and vinegar. These are your two main ingredients, but you'll also want dish soap and red food coloring if you want it to look a little bit more like lava. Now, I like to mix the baking soda, red food coloring, and dish soap together with a little warm water, so all you have to do is add the vinegar. And when you do, this is what happens. And there you go, chemical reaction. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Phil, how much vinegar or baking soda do I use? Well, I'm not gonna tell you. This is where you can be Science Maximites. Try different amounts. More vinegar, more baking soda, more dish soap. Who knows? Write down the amounts each time you use it and find out what amounts work best. That's called science. And that's what we're gonna be looking at today, chemistry in all its forms. And of course, because it is Science Max, experiments at large, we're going to max out the vinegar and baking soda volcano. So I'm off to the Center for Skills Development and Training. Come on. Hey, Talina.
Hi, Phil.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. This is Talina. She's going for her PhD in chemistry from McMaster, right?
Yep.
Awesome, which means you can help me max out the baking soda and vinegar. We need vinegar. You grab that vinegar. And vinegar volcano. So what happens when we mix these two chemicals?
Well, vinegar is an acid and baking soda is a base, and when you mix them, they neutralize each other to produce carbon dioxide and water as a byproduct.
So acids and...
Yep.
So I guess that makes sense. When you put them together, crazy stuff happens.
Yeah.
Awesome, chemistry. Okay, so I want to use this much vinegar and this much baking soda.
What's with the fish tank?
The fish tank is where I want to mix it all together. What do you think?
Awesome.
Maxed out. Okay, let's move the fish tank somewhere where we won't make a huge mess. It's a little heavy with all that. We gotta, no, we're gonna have to take a couple trips. That's kind of heavy. Okay, so we'll take this and that, and then this, and that. No, hold on. I can do it. One more. Okay, good. Okay, good. Yeah, I took too much. I took too much. Uh-oh, uh-oh.
That's good, Ramona. Put it in the background. Put the sign in the background. Yeah, in the BG. I love the BG. Chemicals, 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 chemicals. What are chemicals? Are they things you have in a lab in a jar that say chemical on them? Well, yes. But if that's all you think chemicals are, then you need to know your chemicals. Turns out the stuff in the jar is a chemical, but the jar itself also made of chemicals. The table I'm putting it on, made of chemicals. My lunch, chemicals. Roller skate, chemicals. My jacket, chemicals. This guitar, chemicals. My shoe, chemicals. This watch, chemicals. This fish, chemicals. Chemicals, 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 chemicals. Me, chemicals. You, chemicals. Ramona, chemicals. No, I said your chemicals. Never mind. This is it. The periodic table of the elements. All matter in the universe is made up of these pure elements. They go together in different ways to make up everything. All matter. Think of it like building blocks. These little atoms are some of the elements on this periodic table. You got 1 oxygen, 2 hydrogen, bam, you got a water molecule. 1 carbon, 2 oxygen, hey, it's carbon dioxide. 2 carbon, 2 oxygen, 4 hydrogen, skadoosh, vinegar. 1 sodium, 1 chlorine, hey, that's salt. All matter in the universe is just the stuff on here combining into these. And now, you know your chemicals. Sugar.
Let's take a closer look at what's going on when we mix vinegar and baking soda. All chemicals are made of atoms. There's only 4 types in our reaction: carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, and sodium. When they go together like this is a molecule of vinegar, or acetic acid. And this is a molecule of baking soda, or sodium bicarbonate. When chemicals react, they switch atoms. That one goes there, this one goes over here, and then this one turns into this, and then what you end up with are new molecules. This one is called sodium acetate, and this one is carbon dioxide gas, the gas you breathe out. And do you recognize this one? Right, water, H2O. Why all this happens gets complicated, but the study of chemistry is all about how molecules are built and react with other molecules.
All right, Talina, you ready?
Yep.
You're gonna pour all your baking soda in the fish tank, and I'm gonna pour the vinegar into this bucket, because you don't wanna pour them together right away. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, go for it. When you're doing your PhD in chemistry, do you get to do stuff like this?
Yeah.
Really?
Got to do a lot of fun reactions in the lab.
Oh, I'm jealous. Have you ever done this much vinegar and baking soda in one time?
I can't say I ever have.
There you go. That's what I like to hear. I already put the soap in the bucket so it would mix with the vinegar when I poured it in. Are you done your baking soda already?
I am.
I'll pour faster. Oh, faster.
It smells vinegary.
It smells vinegar. It makes me want French fries. Okay, Talina, you take this very full bucket of vinegar and dish soap.
Thank you.
I will take this one. Uh-oh, we still have our 3rd bucket. Okay, I'll do these both at the same time. Okay, ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! 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 Wow.
Okay.
That's awesome. So the one thing it didn't do, it didn't shoot up in the air though.
Yeah, it's because the top is quite open, so you would need to constrict it to get it to shoot up.
Oh, yeah, because we're using just sort of a square, a rectangular prism container. We should get something that's maybe something more like our vinegar bottle, right? Because there's lots of space down here, but then it forces it into a tighter opening at the top there, like a volcano.
Yep.
And what else can we do to make it even more powerful, to max it out?
Vinegar is only 5% acid, the rest is water, so you could try using 100%.
So what kind of acid is vinegar?
It's acetic acid.
So vinegar is actually only 5% acetic acid
Yep.
and 95% water. So you can get 100% acetic acid?
Yeah.
Can you get 100% acetic acid?
Yes.
Awesome. Why don't we get a container that's sort of shaped like a funnel, like a volcano,
Yeah.
and 100% acetic acid, and we'll do it again.
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it.
Our vinegar and baking soda reaction went pretty well. But now we're gonna try it with a much stronger type of the same kind of acid you find in vinegar.
Carefully putting this down. And watch out for the baking soda. You never know when it'll get out. And, well, I guess that's just baking soda, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty safe.
Yeah, okay, good. So this is baking soda vinegar volcano version 2. We have this differently shaped glass. What do you call this again?
That's an Erlenmeyer glass.
Why is it called that?
It's actually named after a scientist.
Did he look like that? Was he sort of shaped like this?
No.
No? Was he just a good chemist?
Good scientist, and I think he designed the glass.
Oh, see, there you go. So if you want to have a glass named after you, be a good chemist and design a glass. I want to make a fill beaker. So this is 100% acetic acid.
Yep.
And what's the difference between this and vinegar?
Vinegar has 5% of this and 95% water. But this is 100%, so it's much stronger.
Much stronger. Can you put this on your French fries?
No, I wouldn't be putting it on your French fries.
No? As chemicals go, how dangerous is this?
It's not too dangerous, but you definitely don't want to be breathing it in, and you don't want to be eating it.
Or getting it on your skin. That's why I'm wearing these fancy pantsy gloves. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour the acetic acid in this. What's this called?
That is a graduated cylinder.
Because it finished school. So it graduated. Now you're gonna mix water and food coloring and soap all together.
Yep.
And pour it into there?
It'll help dissolve some of the baking soda, so hopefully it'll react better with the acid.
Sounds good. Face protection.
Oh.
All right, that's good. And now, when we do it, I want to add the funnel at the end to like accentuate the concentration of, but I don't know if it's gonna go so fast that I won't be able to get it in there, but we'll try it.
Try it.
Vinegar baking soda volcano version 2. Woo!
Good thing you got the mask.
It smells a lot like vinegar. It's really strong.
Oh.
That was pretty good. But what can we do to make it even bigger?
Well, you could try using a different chemical reaction.
Ooh, okay. Like what?
The decomposition of hydrogen peroxide produces oxygen gas, and so that one's pretty vigorous if you use a catalyst.
So we want something that makes a lot of gas so that it makes a lot of bubbles when you put the soap in it.
Yep.
Great, let's do it. And the sooner we leave that smell, the better, I think, for my taste. Today we're combining two different chemicals to create a reaction. Sometimes chemicals can combine in a way that makes them very different from how they started out. For example, this is sodium, or Na on the periodic table. Now, the sodium tablets are in mineral oil because sodium reacts very strongly with water, even the water in the air, or especially the water in my skin. Watch what happens when I drop a sodium tablet into this beaker of water. Very cool and very dangerous.
And this is chlorine, or Cl on the periodic table. Chlorine gas is very poisonous. So,
So, what happens if we combine these two deadly substances? Do we create some sort of super poison? Something more deadly than anything else known to science that causes fear and chaos in chemistry labs all over the land? No, we create salt. Good old normal table salt. These two substances combine to make NaCl, salt. Something completely and totally safe. Chemistry.
We've gone from vinegar and baking soda to 100% acetic acid in baking soda, and now
Have you ever done a science experiment and wondered what it'd be like if you did it big? I have. Yeah! My name is Phil, and I take your everyday science experiments and do them big. This is Science Max, Experiments at Large. Science Max!
3, 2, 1. We're really under pressure during this episode of Science Max. Compressing a gas till it's pressurized is how we can do this, and to a lesser degree, this.
Help, I'm being crushed by all this pressure.
Pressure, today on Science Max, Experiments at Large.
Phil to mission control. Come in, mission control. This is mission control, Phil. We read you loud and clear. I would... Oh. Greetings, science! Greetings, Science Maximites! Welcome to Science Max Experiments at Large. My name is Phil McCordick, and today we're gonna be building an air-powered rocket. Too difficult, you say? Nonsense, it's easy. It's not like it's rocket science. Hey, it is rocket science. Cool! Here's what you need. You need a bottle and a cork. Make sure that the cork fits nicely into the bottle, and then you need an air pump, because you can't have an air-powered rocket without air. And on this air pump, you need a pin, the special kind that you use to inflate basketballs or volleyballs or stuff like that. Now, what you want to do is push the pin through the cork. You might want an adult's help for this. Push it through until it goes through on the other side, and then make sure you get a good seal with the bottle. Now you're ready to launch your rocket with air pressure. But first, let's do a few other things. Take your cork and put it in a tripod launcher. You can make this out of pencils or anything you want, as long as it stands up nice and solidly. And then, of course, you want to decorate your bottle so it looks like a rocket. This is my rocket. Pretty good, right? So stick the bottle on the cork like before, like that. And then you stick the pin in the bottom. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna inflate the bottle with air pressure, and then it's gonna launch. Okay, here we go. You know, rocketry really isn't something you should do indoors. Come on.
This was supposed to be a field. What's going? Why are there? Oh, it's in my shoe.
Oh, this will do nicely.
Now, don't forget to do this with an adult, and don't forget your safety glasses. Now set up the rocket in a nice big open area and make sure it's pointed away from you. And then what you do is you pump the air pump. And it puts air into the rocket, which pushes down on the water, which will push down on the cork, until eventually... So, be Science Maximites and come up with your own rocket design. Try different amounts of water, different fins, even a different size bottle. Try it for yourself and see if you can get one that goes higher than mine just did. How did I get in? I think it was this way.
Do you want step-by-step directions on how to build your own air-powered rocket? Well, don't worry. Everything you need is on our website.
All right, now it is time to max out our air-powered rocket. I've got Adam here. Hey, Adam.
Hey, Phil.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Adam's from Logix Academy, and you guys go into schools and talk about science.
We do.
Fantastic. Do you guys do a air-powered rocket?
Yes, exactly.
Does it look like this one?
Looks exactly like that.
Oh, that's great. So how do we max this out?
So we want to add more pressure to this bottle to try to get it to launch a little bit higher.
More air.
More air.
Great, so what do we do?
So we're gonna use one of these.
Ooh.
It's an air compressor.
Right, which works a lot like the bike pump, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So we're gonna have compressed air coming from here, through this tube into underneath here.
Yeah.
And out that nozzle there, and you're going to put your bottle on top.
And out the nozzle
like
into
that.
the bottle, like that.
Yep, and now we want to be able to hold it in place. So we're gonna have these little fingers here that are actually gonna work to hold it until we want to let it go. So we're gonna lock it in place.
Oh yeah, look at that. Totally locked.
Exactly.
And then what? How do we launch
Now,
it?
you're gonna take this cord and go a safe distance away, and we are going to pull it.
And then we would pull it. Which one do you want to start with?
I think we should use this one here.
Okay, great. Now we put water in it, right?
Yep, you're gonna put water in there.
Why do we use water?
So the water is gonna act to push the rocket up into the air. The compressed air in here is gonna shoot the water out the back, and the water is gonna push on the rocket and make it launch. It's just to give it a little extra push.
How do I get it on there without spilling any water?
So just rest it next to the
Just go
launcher
fast?
there. Yeah, just go really fast.
Ooh.
There you go.
There we
A
go.
little bit.
Haha. And then
Lock it in place.
locking it in place. There's no
Okay.
air pressure in the hose yet, right?
Not yet, no.
First, we have to spool out the launch cord. So the air compressor has the compressed air in it. It's ready to go.
Yep, it's all ready to go. We just need to connect the hoses.
Adam, I've noticed it's snowing a little bit. Do you think that's any reason why we should stop?
I don't think so.
No, the science must go on. Blast shields down. Connecting hoses.
When we connect the air hose, the pressure from the compressor travels down the line and into the bottle. You can see the bubbles of air going in. Those bubbles are carrying more air into the bottle, giving it more pressure.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, there's the rocket. Let's do it again. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Woo! Nice. Success.
Success.
Nice. So, small bottle, worked really well. How do we make it bigger? I know, bigger nose cone?
I think a bigger bottle.
Oh, bigger bottle, yeah, of course, that's easy. How about this empty water bottle that we have now?
That might work, except that the top here is too big. I don't think it'll fit on our launcher.
Oh yeah, so what should we use?
A 2-liter pop bottle might work a bit better because it'll be about the same size.
Oh, that's right, 2-liter pop bottles have the same opening as these small water bottles.
Exactly.
That's great. All right, let's make a couple rockets out of 2-liter pop bottles.
Awesome.